Okay, in this example, we're finding the derivative again, and the derivative of y e to the power of square root of x squared minus 3. Now, in order to find the derivative here, it would be a little bit more beneficial to rewrite the problem as e to the x squared minus 3 with some sort of an exponent rather than having the radical. Okay, so now what's the exponent going to be like? Well, the exponent is going to be a 1 divided by the index, and in this case the index is 2. So instead of having the square root of the x squared minus 3, we can write down a fraction, put the 1 on top, and put the 2 on the bottom in the denominator. And so now that we have rewritten the problem, it makes it a little bit easier to find the derivative, the dy over dx. So remember the derivative of an exponential, so this whole thing is now what we call an exponential function. The derivative of exponential function is the function itself, so it's ex squared minus 3 with the power of 1/2 times the derivative with respect to x of the power of the exponent. Okay, so in other terms, what I want next is the derivative of x squared minus 3 basically. So that is the exponent. That's what goes basically right there. So we need the derivative of x squared minus 3 to the power of 1/2. Now, that is by itself a challenging problem. So I'm going to go to my scratch paper and look for the derivative of x squared minus 3 to the power of 1/2 with respect to x. So how do you differentiate this? The derivative here is going to be a chain rule, also known as the extended power rule. Okay, so how does the extended power rule works? It works by bringing the power down, and then we leave the base, we subtract 1 from the power, and then we multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is going to be basically 2x. So the total is going to be just x squared minus 3 to the power of -1/2 times the x. And why is that? That's because the 2 on the denominator, the 2 on the numerator, they just cancel each other out. Okay, and if you want to clean that up a little bit more, you can rewrite it as x divided by the x squared minus 3 with the negative exponent on the bottom. It becomes positive exponent instead. Okay, so remember, that is the derivative of the exponent, and that whole quantity is supposed to go right here instead of the derivative of the exponent. So all this is going to be replaced with that answer. So here we go. The final answer to the problem, dy over dx, is going to be e to the x squared minus 3 with the exponent 1/2 multiplied by all the stuff that I got on my scratch paper, which is x and then x squared minus 3 with the exponent 1/2. And if you like, you can rewrite this whole problem without these exponents. You can write it with radicals, and with radicals it would be e to the square root of x squared minus 3 times x over the square root of x squared minus 3 one more time. So I feel like that's the best way to read it because it looks pretty.